Hello everyone. So this is today's newspaper analysis. Today is 1 December 2025 Monday. So the headline we can see that as the winter session begins today, opposition pushes for the debate on SIR. SIR is special intensive revision of electoral rolls and warning that it might stall proceedings if the government does not agree. Actually, we have seen there has been lots of controversy regarding this SIR. Many BLOs have died, maybe of overworkload, or I don't know which kind of pressure they feel. So moving ahead, this is a book, Life and Legacy of Arun Jaitley. This is about the gig economy and the women, how women in gig economy. Over the past 30 years, India's economy has surged, yet women participation in the workforce remain strikingly low in the urban areas. Official data show that 28% of women are part of labor force compared to 75% of men, meaning fewer than 1 in the 3 urban women is employed or actively seeking work. Gig economy promised that to change that with flexible hours and the ability to work from anyone. It seemed tailor made for women juggling household responsibility alongside economic ambitions, but the reality has been more complicated. Experts say the structural hurdles continue to limit women's opportunities. Recent recommendations from the key policy bodies outline steps that could help close the gap. Actually, something was called Blue Smart, which was the female gig economy workers. Nationally, women constitute less than 1% of commercial drivers. So it was of okay, moving ahead. It is about a road crash. Yeah, one more news. Working till 1 a.m. Rajasthan BLO dies of cardiac arrest. This is concerning. Okay, in the editorial section, as Parliament reconvenes, let's ask why legislature is in retreat. The very foundation of parliamentary democracy rests upon the delicate but the dynamic balance of power between the legislature and executive. The principle is simple: the executive, drawn from the legislature, must command its confidence to the government, but the legislature must hold the reins of oversight, scrutiny, and accountability. This Westminster model, envisioned as a dance of democratic accountability, has in our contemporary Indian context been twisted into the monologue of executive dominance in regression that the body's ill for the long term health of our republic. So it says that our constitution is based on the Westminster model. Okay, so there is a legislature and executive. The legislature is accountable. It is which keeps an eye on the executive. But in the recent time, we witness that executive has shown dominance and it is dominating the legislature as well. So this can cause ill health of our republic. So this article says that. So it just say that we have to correct this. The government commands the legislative agenda. It is the principal actor. The opposition is also not doing much. Question hour, 0 hour, and are the vital instrument of daily accountability are often first casualty for ensuring chaos. The government, rather than engaging in debate, choose to pass monumental legislation in the matter of minute with a minimum discussion and scant regard for the legislative scrutiny. The institution parliamentary committee is meant to be the workshop of democracy where legislation is refined through the cross-body deliberation, and expert testimony also find themselves diluted and struggling. So the government nowadays just pass any monumental or any big legislation in the matter of minute without much of discussion. And also we have parliamentary committees for the discussion and the debates where cross party meeting is done, but now everything seems to be very much diluted and struggling. So yeah, it's moving ahead. It is about the GDP of India, 8.2% in the second quarter, and RBI has projected 7% of the. Okay, the one more editorial. In era of AI and climate change, energy policy must navigate a new trade-off. India's energy policy have been focused on the universal access, affordability, and security of supply. All villages are electrified, poorest of poor receive subsidized food, and even though India still imports 85% of its oil and gas, it does not face the supply risk it once did when. So we need, it says that now we are living in the era of AI and climate change, and we are the largest population country. So we need energy security and the policy related to this so that we can grow well. Okay, moving ahead. This is health section. This is about obesity, because nowadays we are much dependent on the refined carbs and too much salt and sugar consumption. So this is a huge concern for the cardiovascular disease because it is one of the leading causes of the premature deaths in India, and obesity is one of important triggers. Next, we have how antibiotic misuse is fueling a crisis in the ICUs across India. ICMR suggests infection control in the hospital so that the doctors don't have to prescribe antibiotics. Why antimicrobial resistance is a challenge? Because overuse and misuse of antimicrobials can put undue pressure on the pathogens like bacteria, fungi, and viruses to mutate and gain the ability to withstand the drugs. This essentially means that these drugs stop working during an infection. And nearly 2.6 lakh deaths in India due to various infections in 2021 were directly attributable to the antimicrobial resistant, meaning the people would not have died had the infection responded to the treatment. So, we need to tackle this problem of antimicrobial resistance. And here it is written that there is no magic bullet. There has to be a good infection control in hospital so that the doctor don't have to compensate with the antibiotic prescriptions. Awareness needs to be created. There have to be continuous reminders. These are not easy to do. Already we are seeing decline in the use of broad spectrum antibiotics. Medicines effective made against a wide range of bacteria, but it will take some time to see the impact. This is about the rupee fall. Now we have 89 rupees per dollar. Okay, you have to know the difference between need and read, nominal and real. So it is about the policy of a new seed bill. India's seed market is valued about 40,000 crore. Okay. So center has come out with a new seed bill proposing mandatory registration of seed varieties and stricter punishment for the violation. The draft law released by the Ministry of Agriculture and the Farmer Welfare on November 13 will replace the Seed Act 1966. So it also registration of seed in not compulsory. Green manure seeds, commercial crops, and plantation crops are excluded. Okay. Penalties under the current laws are low, going up to 6 months in prison and the fine of 1,000. This is about the cyclone Ditwa, and this is it that how the tropical cyclones are named. This cyclone has came in Tamil Nadu on the Sunday evening, and a cyclone that form in every ocean basin across the world are named by the regional specialized meteorological centers and the tropical cyclone warning centers, including the IMD. In 2000, a group of nations called WMOESCAP, which comprised of Bangladesh, India, Maldives, Myanmar, Oman, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and Thailand, decided to start the naming of cyclone in the region. After each country sent the suggestions, there is a list, final list. Many countries were added later. The name are chosen on the rotational basis, with each country submitting multiple options for the use for the many years. However, all nations must adhere to the certain rules. The proposed name should be neutral to the political figure, and culture and gender. It should be short, easy to pronounce, and should not be offensive to the any member country. So Ditwa was submitted by Yemen. Okay, so it is a sports section, and this was today's newspaper. Thank you.